Is that Raid Raptors making a splash? I think it is. Sure, guys, smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. So the Argentina Open has come and gone, and it's actually kind of nice to see some slightly different results on the course of the meta. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, this is going to look pretty interesting. At least, you're just hyping this up, Robbie. There's 4 snake eyes on that pie chart. What are you doing? All right, like, why are you lying to us? What makes this so interesting? Well, first of all, yes, there are 4 snake eyes decks on that pie chart, but not a single one of them won this event, all right? And, you know, looking at snake eyes developments in the course of the meta and the power that the deck has, yeah, it's stupid ignorant. It still is. You know, and when we start getting into the deck list here, you'll get the chance to kind of see, oh, okay, well, you know, that's kind of interesting to see. What won this event, though, was actually pure Kashtira. Dun, dun, dun. You guys remember the mid-range control deck that everybody kind of took a ZZ on? Well, you back at it again out here with the Dimension Shifter, ruining people's days. I will say your tech choices for this build might not surprise anybody, but I think it's just good to see good control options back in the meta. We also had a Tempai, a singular Tempai Dragon deck. You heard me say that correctly. I just love the fact that one Tempai Dragon deck was here. We also had Voiceless Voice. I'm not all that surprised. Voiceless Voice is still literally the control deck that people absolutely eat up, and they want to continue to see that deck, you know, just kind of being a good, successful challenger to the course of the meta. We also had your Raid Raptor challenger for the meta. I will say that I did not expect to see that deck actually getting the chance to shine, but it's definitely a very happy thing to see. Overall, I mean, your breakdown for this event, it's a lot of meta that we're very used to seeing, but the rogue contenders will continue to be the things that will shape this meta and make people intrigued by it. Let's pass on over to this deck list. So winning our event here is actually the power of Kashtira. All right, in terms of your attack options, we do see the one ogre in here. We're only playing one copy of the Scareclaw Kashtira. I don't know how I feel about that, but it's good enough. You do play the one Preparations trap card in here as well. You're still maximizing on triple of, you know, Theosis, Birth, and Raceloth, as you should be. We are playing 2 tack talents built into the main deck, which I do think is fine. You want to make sure that you can hit those keynotes and do your thing. And, of course, we are doing the G-Golem Crystal Heart in here with the Link Spiders to basically get that Heat Soul combo up and running. I think a lot of people have tried to detour themselves away from the Heat Soul combo. Don't do that. Drawing into your power cards in a deck like this is the reason why I do believe that this deck was able to do its thing. Also, you know, the side deck down there is just kind of insane. You have so many options available to you. I'll take that. All right, next up, second place. Well, we did miss the mark with our Snake Eyes. You know, they were able to get second place. They did get bullied out at first, though, so I personally think that's a win out here. We do have the triple cross out in here. You're going to continue to see the triple cross out be a thing because this deck just absolutely hates getting hand trapped. But, you know, a shifter, in this case, you're still going to get cross-outed and lose in that situation. You do see the Lullaby of Obedience down there as well. Depending on how your meta kind of shapes up, depending on the event that you go to, I still do think that Lullaby is a cute tech choice, depending on, once again, the event you go to, your nationals, whatnot. If you're worried about playing a lot of this stuff or you want to take advantage of it, you could main it, but with how things have been bouncing back and forth right now, I don't think that Lullaby in the main is worth it. It's a cute card, yes, but it's just that. It's cute. And cuteness doesn't win games. Well, it can sometimes. Then we have our Raid Raptor to us. I did not expect to see Raid Raptor making it into 3rd place, but good stuff. You do see that we are main decking triple Nibiru. That's something Nib has been on the decline as of late, but the decks you do see getting the chance to play it have been pretty good. You do have the Ash and the Ogres in here, so we are hitting those key placements. And this build is also playing the duo Kali King Yuga in here. I saw a lot of people that were kind of jumping away from Kali King Yuga. There's nothing wrong with the card. It's just a lot of the builds just are like, you know, maybe we don't want this. The effective turn skip that you get off of the card is very, very worth it. You also see Book of Eclipse down here as well. Book of Eclipse is a kind of turning into an interesting little tech choice across the meta, and I like that. Having deterrent cards that can just keep you in the game or a free nuke down for a deck like this to do its thing. Okay. Next up here is more Snake Eyes. This build is doing the little splash package of the 1 Unicorn, the 1 Fenrir, with the 1 Birth and the 2 Raceloth. We have definitely seen how good Fenrir and Unicorn actually can be. Unicorn getting that little peek into your opponent's extra deck, kind of steal that little free knowledge. You know who I'm talking about. You know how stupid good that can actually be. We also do have we're playing the 2 Delta and the Gamma down on the side. Now, Gamma and Delta have definitely taken a backseat in this meta. There is way less of that showing up these days than we were seeing in the last meta. It's because, you know, Snake Eyes got knocked down a peg. While it's still a very strong deck, for sure, you know, the value that Delta, you know, had was kind of been reduced. There's nothing wrong with that. You also have the triple talents in the side deck as well. This duelist took all of the power cards that this deck absolutely crazily loves and actually benched them, and it actually worked out. Next up, more Snake Eyes. Ooh, once again, you are seeing that little splash package of the 1 Unicorn, the 1 Fenrir, the 1 Birth, and the 2 copies of the Raceloth doing their job. And of course, I'm loving the fact that these decks, you do see the skill drains down here in the side deck. Basically, you build your board and go. Flamberge being able to split apart into these big pieces is very, very strong. You do see the Fucho for the little turn skip as need be, but you know, the way that this deck is operating now, it's pretty good. And of course, we've also started to see that more of these builds have been going to the double Promethean Princess. There's just been so many cases where a Promethean ends up getting ripped out of the opponent's graveyard that you're just like, oh, okay, well, you know, RIP to the value. You just want to be able to have the second copy on the back burner, so when the turn comes up and you're like, all right, so I can actually make one for the combo, one for the regurgitation play in order to OTK. Okay, makes perfect sense to me. Next up is the Voiceless Voice Duelist. Now, we are playing the Fallen of Albaz package in here, though it is very interesting to know that between, you know, pure Voiceless Voice, the branded Voiceless Voice, and the Ostinato build, I feel like this has been the worst build of the 3 as late. Ostinato is very cool. It gives you the access to make the Appaloosa on the climb up, but having access to, you know, the little, you know, side pieces to put the extra monsters on the field, Mirror Jade being a stupid good card as well. This deck has been taking full advantage of it. I still think it's a good idea to try it, but this duelist, you know, the branded was their method of madness. We're also only main decking 1 Saravis. You know, you do have the second one down on the side, so it's like you still have it, but I feel like there are just so many times that I want that second Saravis that not having it is just kind of a big old sad, for sure. Next up is more Snake Eyes. You do see you have the triple cross out in here as well. You have the triple skill drain, but this side deck is a lot more interesting than most. You have the Change of Heart, double mind control. We have the tack talents down there in the side deck as well. If your opponent's making like a board, you're probably able to take control of it, look your opponent in the eyes, and say, "I'm going to win this game now." Because your opponent makes a 3 map material, you know, Appo, Change of Heart it. And your opponent's just like, well, what's going on here? It's like, well, you're about to lose the game because, you know, you tried to capitalize on this and now you're in an incredibly bad situation. This is why I love Yu-Gi-Oh! Because board breaker cards like this are insanely stupid and powerful. It's so crazy to actually see. So, yeah, another basic Snake Eyes deck, but you do have your spice to make things go around. And our last list here is our Tenpai Dragon Express. We are main decking the Magna Hut, which is fine. We're doing double Ogre, double Mortar, and the double Droll. Okay. We are relying on the crossouts for this, which I do think is fine. This build is playing a Cyberse Quantum Dragon. That's not something I've seen a lot of people trying. This build's also playing double Spheres as well. That's kind of interesting. I like that idea. And of course, still do see the Ancient Fairy Dragon for the field spell pop, and the ability to go search your own. Okay. Outside of that, I mean, it's still Tenpai. There's not a lot of craziness to think about with this. So what do you guys think? Please, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. And I'll see your beautiful faces back here later today, guys. Peace out. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.